Okay, guys, last night, instead of thinking with my meat, I was thinking with my brain meat. That was my brain meat thinking. It activated, it turned on, and oh my goodness, I think I figured it out. So, I've been seeing a lot of nerf this, buff that lately. I think we're going about this all incorrectly. I think we need to indirectly buff things, which indirectly nerfs other things. What do I mean by that? So today in this video, I'm going to be going over essentially environmental effects, immunities, and certain factions and how they could perform better. So this first idea was actually something that already existed, and I'm just building up on it. So essentially, there was a cold environment and there was a fire environment. I don't really remember the fire environment. I think it had to do with the spider wasp caves. I'll try and find a picture of that. But I remember the cold environment, and it was in a boss strike actually too. And essentially, if your unit did not have frostbite immunity or cold immunity, whatever the hell it's called, it took damage every single turn. Now, I really like the thought of the mammoths finally being worth something, and my idea was that the raiders with their fluffy coats could also be immune to the cold environment, as well as some Arctic units that were in the game or elemental units. I think it's like the Cryo Trooper and the Element Trooper. Those units could be immune to those cold environments. This directly buffs the raider faction and indirectly nerfs all the other units that were not immune to this. Now, aside from anti-cold units being immune to the cold, and flame units like the flame trooper and maybe the what's his name, the salamander being immune to a hot environment, I think they should add a plagued chemical environment, and I think they should add a lightning storm. Now, for the plague environment, essentially units like the infected units and the biogrenadier, the chemical troops, they would be immune to that. Now, by doing this, it makes the chemical units feel more unique, not like a reskin of a grenadier or a reskin of a flame trooper, and it levels the playing field in a new, unique way. And as well as the lightning storm environment is essentially every turn a random unit gets hit by lightning, but the lightning units are immune to that, or maybe they could you if you have the lightning units, they absorb the shock on behalf of other units. Now, there's other trainable factions that we typically play against, like the Silver Wolves and the Reef Bandits. I'm just going to actually kind of group those two together, as well as the Frontier units. Now, I want to start off with the Silver Wolves and the Reef Bandits. The Silver Wolves, when they get a kill, I'm thinking their unique niche is that they get 2.5 times extra gold from that kill, or maybe extra SP. Who knows? The Reef Bandits, when they get a kill, I'm thinking that because they're kind of like salvagey types of people, they could get extra resources after the battle is over, something like that. Now, for the Frontier units, I'm thinking that the jungle environment that's already in the game should be implemented a little bit more. And with the jungle environment being there, there's an accuracy debuff to all units, but the frontier units, being the rednecks that they are, they could do better in that environment and not have that debuff to aim. Maybe the optics units as well, because they're a little bit weird, but maybe they could do the same thing like that. You know what I'm saying? Now, this was just some ideas that I had in mind the other night. I think it'd be a really good way of balancing the units in this game. Because really think about it, instead of changing their individual numbers, why not change the environments? This makes it so that there's way more ways to play the game. Like rather than doing the same encounters that we've been doing over and over and saying this needs a buff, this needs a nerf, why not change the environment that some units are better now and some units don't perform as well in that environment without changing them in that such, you know what I'm saying? And as well as it gives those other factions that don't feel like they should fit in or don't feel like we should be training them because they're the enemy, it makes them more viable and gives them a purpose rather than just, oh, some of these naval units are kind of crap. Or why do we have the Silver Wolves? Well, they're thieves. And so let them do that purpose. But anyway, yeah, please let me know what you think, because I'm all for this idea. And yeah, I don't really think I have anything else to say. I'm definitely going to come out with some more interesting discussion videos later this week. So please stay tuned for that. And thank you for being here.